Hey there, FlossTube. This is Cathy, the hands-on designer, coming at you on a Wednesday afternoon. It's March 7th, I think. Just hanging out. We just got back from market late Monday night, and I thought I'd take a chance to just kind of sit down with you. And okay, let's put it this way: I have a lot to share with you. So grab a cup of coffee, something, or your Diet Coke, Diet Pepsi, cup of tea. I am going to name drop like it's my job. If you're not into that kind of thing, well, maybe stick around anyway. You might see something you like. I've got, well, I still have the cough, obviously. I've got a lot to share, a lot to show, some things to talk about with market. We just got back late Monday night through the snowstorm that hit the Dakotas. We live in Sioux City, the northwest corner of Iowa. As we were driving, we knew the snow was coming. We left a little early, but we found out as we were on the road that they actually closed the highway down. If you're ever visiting in this area, and if you ever see these white bars, they're usually up like this, but every once in a while they go down like this. And I never knew what those were for until we moved here. And that's when they close the highway. So imagine like that little bar is like holding you back. But it usually means, they don't close them that often, but it usually means travel is unsafe. We were fortunately able to exit about a mile before the highway was closed. We got in behind an 18-wheeler and went about 40 miles an hour. We followed him because then we could see the road. Wasn't a lot of snow, it was just blowing a ton. So took a little longer. Our normal 13-hour drive took about 15. So yeah, we were tired, which is why I'm doing something today that I don't normally do. I'm sitting for one of these videos because normally I like to stand and I move around a lot, but I have so much on my table, including my drink. So hopefully I won't have to cough all the time. Sorry, I know some of you love that when people do that in videos, but can't be helped. We left a week ago. Wow, it's like all that prep, it's here and it's so fast. We left a week ago to get to Nashville, and it's held at, what it is, a lot of you know what that is when we talk about Nashville. It is a wholesale needlework show, so it is not open to the public. It is open to shop owners, whether they're online, brick and mortar, really anybody with credentials that's in the biz, in the needlework industry. And it's held in Franklin, Tennessee, which is a suburb just south of downtown Nashville. And supposedly, I mean, I have been out and about in the Franklin a little bit, but we've been told like that's kind of where some of the big stars live. I don't know, I've never seen any one of them, but hey, you never know, there's always next year. But we start our room set up. It's at an Embassy Suites hotel. So if you're familiar with how those are laid out, there's the big atrium in the middle and then rooms all around. And there's 4 floors of nothing but designers and dyers and distributors and wholesalers of all sorts, scissors, linen, gadgets, charts, threads, you name it. And we're all there kind of showing off our new wares. Shops come and they purchase. It's a cash and carry market in most cases. You can do ordering and net 30 and all that. But typically we come with all our charts. Shops come in, they order however many they want for their shop and leave with it. So we have to, magically think, I'm going to sell this many charts. It's kind of a big guessing game. So we do, I don't know. This year I got a lot of pre-orders, and that kind of helped with the numbers, and we still managed to run out of some charts. So I don't know. Sometimes I used to laugh at designers and say, we sold out. And I'm like, well, then you're not doing it right. And this year I'm like, we sold out. So apparently I didn't do it right. I didn't guess that lucky number. That's okay. I can print more. So anyway, the way our suite is, the front is the living room. Then we've got a hallway back to the bedroom. We move all of the furniture out, or as much as we possibly can. We move it out of that front living room. In this case, I leave the couch because after a long day of trudging around the hotel, sometimes shop owners, it's nice for them to have a place to sit when they're in your room. And And then I move like the TV stand, the extra chair, the coffee table, the little end tables, all that goes in the back to make room to set up kind of like a mini shop, I guess. We rent tables while we're there, and every year you kind of, you don't know what color your tablecloths are gonna be, so you have to bring your setup, you know, lighting, and we have like what we call our go-to box, which has like hammers, nails, scissors, pins, tape, gum. I don't know what the gum is for, but you know, hey, you might need it. The things you stick on the wall, like that you can take off because you can't nail into the walls. What are those called? I can't remember what they're called. Anyway, you know what I mean. You kind of have to be prepared. I generally figure out what my setup is before I go, but you have to be prepared for all kinds of contingencies. And chances are, I've been doing this enough now that if you don't have something, one of your friends, a neighbor, is gonna have what you need, you know, packing tape, who knows. Anyway, so we set up our front room like a little showroom, and then the shop owners come room to room and purchase. So it's a lot of fun. It's kind of like, I described it to somebody, I said it's kind of like a big family reunion in a way, because a lot of these people I know, I talk to them on occasion, you know, message with them, email, see them on Facebook or Instagram, whatever, but I may only see them have face-to-face contact with them. This is my one time a year, unless I'm traveling to their shop and I'm teaching something. A couple designers actually live pretty close to me, but we don't see each other during the year too. I always joke, because I have a shop that's about 40 miles north of here in Beresford, South Dakota, and Shanty Stitchers. I usually get there a couple times a year, but to really, really talk to her sometimes, I actually we both have to drive all the way to Nashville. So anyway, so let's see. So what should we talk about with Nashville? Because we start Friday night. We open Friday night it's called early bird sales. We set up our room, and you know, I host a meeting with my good friends Beth from Summer House Stitchworks and Tracy of Ink Circles. Friday afternoon we host the vendor forum. It's just a time for us to get together to talk about show things and particulars and whatnot, and we're happy to do that for Yarn Tree Needlework Retailer. They host the entire weekend, and they asked us if we would kind of just host that meeting for them. And then there are other classes, and I was able to take another business class on internet, like websites and things like that. So that was good information, because it is a time, while it's a fun weekend, it is a work weekend too. So it's good if I can go and take a class and kind of maybe learn something new. So Friday night we open for business. We have 3 hours, and let me tell you, this year we were on from the minute we opened our door. I could hear voices outside, so we opened the door, and you guys ready? And well, the funny thing is this year I had, Ink Circles was on one side of me, Fabrics by Stephanie was on the other side of me. And the thing, you know, you always go to the fabric people first, because they sell out quickly. And I have 2 ongoing series right now that use her linen, so it was great that we could get rooms next to each other. At the end of the night, I think most of her linen was gone. And I had a lot of shops coming in and ordering. I did not have a limited edition. I did pre-orders. I did have one item that was going to be limited for market, but they'll be able to get more. So there are so many vendors that somebody did the math during the hours we're open, and how, I guess probably divided by how many vendors there are. They put it into minutes. Shops, if they want to see everyone, get at least 8 minutes per room. Okay, well, sometimes those rooms are very full of people, and you have to wait, you have to be patient, or you want to talk to the designer. Yeah, I want to talk to them, because nobody can sell my things like me. So you're constantly like trying to talk quickly and talk them through all your new releases, but be aware of their time, and their time is valuable. So at the end of every day, I basically have no voice left, because I like to talk shops through what my new releases are. So Saturday, we're open again all day. We open at 9, and we our showroom is open until 6, and then Sunday we go 9 to 4. And usually by the late Sunday afternoon it's getting slower because some shops have already done what they needed to do and are heading home. They're catching flights home, or they're driving, taking off for part of it. We have to stay till 4. We could potentially just pack up and start hitting the road, but we like to stay and get the car all packed up, and that takes a while. It's amazing how the takedown of the show is always much quicker than the setup. But for me, and Bill's the same way, we like to make sure it all kind of gets in the right box so that when we come home that we have what's called the market box, and that's like got all that extra stuff. It's packed back up, and I don't even have to look at it till the next time we travel somewhere. So anyway, that's kind of a quick, okay, that was more than 5 seconds, sorry, overview of kind of what happens at Nashville Needlework Market. Just a lot of fun seeing friends. Here's the part where I'm going to name drop a little bit. Let's see, Thursday morning I had breakfast with Beth from Summer House Stitchworks and Jeanette of Jeanette Douglas Designs, and you know, we chit chat a lot. And then that night at dinner I had dinner with Cecile and Rachel from Just Another Button Company, and they brought a helper along this year, and actually somebody I've kind of been fangirling on, Tammy from Tammy Tutterow Designs. And it was funny because apparently she was saying kind of the same thing about me, which that's pretty cool. We come from two different, you know, I'm more obviously the counted cross stitch, and she's in paper crafts a lot, but I love the work that she does. So go check her pictures out on her. She's got the most beautiful feed in Instagram, Tammy Tutterow Designs. I'll try and remember to put names there. And so she was helping. She uses buttons a lot and a lot of wool felt, so right there you see the connection. So we had dinner together, and that was fun. Let's see, breakfast. I had breakfast with 2 shop owners who are on my automatic program, Shelly from Just Stitching there in Ohio, and Barb from the Fabric Peddler. So always fun to catch up with some of my regular shops, talk about, you know, kind of what's going on and what sort of fun things they're doing at their shop. It's good for me to hear that. So and I got to spend a little extra time visiting with them in case we didn't get much of a chance in the room later. But it's always fun to stop and chat with. I've gotten to know, oh my gosh, let's see, where should I begin? I don't know. Well, I always love seeing, okay, there is a time when this is also a time for me to pick up new product that I can use, and like my threads from, these are the new colors from Gentle Art Sampler Threads. They come around and bring us the new colors to add to our palette. This one's called Coral Reef, and hold on, I should probably take that off, and Storm Clouds, which is a nice color. I think I like that a lot. Driftwood, for sure, that's a great color. Got beiges and grays in it, and Putty. Oh, I really like that one. And the others are some, they're simply wool colors, where they've actually taken shades that they already have and they've dyed it over into the wool. I haven't done a whole lot in wool. In fact, I think I've only ever done one piece in the wool, but I just love the way the wool takes the colors. One of these days, you know. I also did get the new shades from Weeks Dye Works. So sometimes they travel around to the different rooms, or sometimes I go visit them. Late Sunday afternoon is when it slows down. Like Bill will stay in the room, and he'll kind of, he said to take your phone so I can text you if you need to come back, if a shop needs to talk to you. But I go and I visit some of my vendors, and that's when I get a lot of these things. But these are the new shades of Weeks Dye Works as well. Let's see, we've got Oyster, Bee's Knees, Roasted Figs, that's funny, and Santa Cruz. Does that not look like Santa Cruz? That's great. So those are their new colors. So I add those to my palette that I use here at home, and I can already kind of think of a couple designs coming up that those might work into. I have also used Romy's Creations threads. She's an Italian designer, and she dyes threads. I used her colors I've used them in 2 designs. Pumpkin Spice Farm and the Good Ship Sampler was last year. Love her shades. So she sent me a lot of her new colors too. Isn't that one really cool? I don't typically design with these really wildly variegated ones, but that one's pretty darn cool. And this one too. Those are some neat shades. So it's nice to have those new products to work with. Got some new linen along the way. And then of course, it's always fun to share, to visit some of my designing friends. I was up visiting with Val Stuff. Her room is always next to Just Another Button Company, and I adore what she does. And actually, if you go to Just Another Button Company's Facebook page and look under videos, we did a little Facebook Live where Rachel interviewed us about some of our new, mine and Val's new designs that used Just Another Button Company products. And it's so fun because Val always comes in and she goes, "Oh, I just love your things." And it's cool because, well, I can say the same about her. And I mean, look at this little guy. So I picked up, of course I did a little shopping along the way. Why wouldn't I? Look at that. And it's a kit. So I don't think, honestly, maybe threads included. I don't know, but all the stuff that you'd have a hard time finding is included. So just how adorable is that little guy? Where her mind goes, I have no idea. She always comes up with these really neat little, uses all the embellishments, and look at that guy, he's got a little smile on his face. I'm loving the wool felt balls. If you've seen my prior videos, you know that. So anyway, so I got a couple other little charts. We always come home with, Weeks gave me some heavenly toffee. You notice it's not been opened because once it's opened, it's gone. This is so good. I'm going to teach in Holland end of May, and so Annemiek came by and brought me some mini stroopwafels. She brought me some last year, and I had never had them before, and very good, very good. So I just love, this is kind of fun, you know. And so anyway, oh, Susan Greening Davis was going by and dropped those off. Those would have been long gone had they not been put somewhere. A couple shops like to bring candy by. I would like to share that candy with you, but it's already gone. Anyway, so that's kind of some of the fun part. I did buy a few other things. Some are surprises for people, so I'm not going to share them here. But I feel like I want to kind of take you through and show you what my releases are. You've seen some of them. How are we doing on time? Oh, 17 minutes. We're fine. Okay, so you've seen me talk about White Christmas. You saw the first 3 ornaments. So Tree Farm and Cut and Carry and Zinc House Row are now on their way to shops and out there. I found the coolest tree. I'm hoping that I can get some good photographs of my room. It's hard to get good photographs of your setup. Paulette from Plum Street did come in and take some pictures. So I'm hoping she got some good ones because she's an awesome photographer. And so maybe if she got some good ones, she will share some with me and I can show you, or maybe, I don't know, she does a blog post sometimes, so check that out. Anyway, there's another little shameless name drop. So anyway, so White Christmas. Now the finishing kits, remember I was talking about wool felt balls. A lot of the shops pre-ordered them. I am sold out, but I have more wool felt balls coming. This is not a limited edition product. It's more of a supply kind of thing. So I've got some, they're handmade. It's a fair trade, a free trade, excuse me, product out of Nepal. And so I have more on order, and then the company that I order from here is sending me what they've got so I can fill immediate orders. It's a finishing kit though, so by the time you finish, I should have plenty of these. Initially, these are going to be only available through shops who buy them. Eventually, I will have them for sale on my website too. So again, not anything like you won't be able to get. So there was White Christmas. Just love my quiet colors. I still love them. So that's White Christmas. So then what came next? Oh heck, we're just not even gonna go in any particular order. The laundry company. remember I said you'll see a lot of what I design this year. Kind of some of the ideas came from the fact that we are building a house. So, okay, now it's getting sunny in here and getting really hot. So anyway, so I did a little, we're calling it a mini series, the Laundry Company. There'll be 3 charts in each. This one's called The Never Ending Cycle. Laundry, the never ending cycle. Can most of you relate to that? So it's stitched with DMC on 32 count white Belfast. So, you know, simple to gather your threads. When stitched on a 16 or 32 count, they fit into a standard 5x7 frame. Sorry, my little thing got. Now, this is an 8x10 frame, and then of course, it's just a mat board that kind of coordinates, and then I put the little string through, and then use these just to make it, just to cute it up a little bit. I finished all 3 the same way, but actually with different colors. Now, these will come out once a month for 3 months, and available at stores now. And I do keep a list on my website. If you're having a hard time connecting with somebody, you can always email me. But anyway, just fun, just fun. These are the colors in my laundry room, yes. So I can't wait. I'm gonna have some open shelving in there, and I just can't wait to be able to display these, because I'm sorry, laundry should be fun. Somebody said, let's make laundry fun again. I don't know if it ever really stopped being fun, but sure is fun now. So with each chart, you're gonna get a bonus chart. Now, okay, I gotta start I'm done with this pile. So with each chart, you're gonna get a third, let me do this right, you're gonna get this piece. So the first part will come here. The first part will come with the first, and then with each one, you're gonna get another third of the design. So you need to collect all 3 to complete your bonus design. Just something kind of fun. And again, it's going in my laundry room. Very quick stitches. I have 2 stitchers in the Tulsa area, and let me tell you, shout out to them, man. They, Tracy and Judy, I can't say enough. So they're lovely gals. I can't wait to see them this summer. They do an awesome job. Not only do they stitch well, they stitch quickly, they catch my goofs. Cause yeah, I make them. Anyway, so they stitched those models for me. Okay, so what's next? This one is actually not in a series, believe it or not. And the laundry is kind of what I call a mini series. So anyway, this is stitch over 2 all the day through. Just a sweet little pincushion. Your wool comes with the chart. You're actually getting 2 pieces of wool, because I like to finish my pillows this way, where you stitch around all 4 sides, because when you, now here I used a cotton, but if you use like a wool or a velveteen, sometimes it can stretch a little bit, and you just want to make sure you get that nice closure there. Okay, this is kind of the lazy way to finish it. I'm gonna own that. But then, you know, you sew around all 4 sides, you know, right sides together. Then you find your back and you sort of pull up on it a little bit and snip. Now make sure you don't snip what's on the front. And then you can slide the scissors in both sides and open that up just a little bit, and then of course you trim everything and turn on the back. Then you will, I close that up with some thread, and then I add another extra little embellishment on the back. So within each chart pack, I gave you enough wool to finish it this way. Now, if you don't want to finish it this way, you can stitch 2 of these, 1 to keep, 1 to give. How nice is that? This comes with, okay, I'm getting really warm now. Whew, sun. I love seeing the sun because it's melting all that darn snow. But anyway, so this is, I'm calling these my Scissor Charms. Whoops. I just love the way they kind of just float along. Okay, my inspiration was my charm bracelet. So just sweet little motifs on a scissor bracelet. So they're Scissor Charms. And I told her, Anne from Dying to Stitch, and she does the R&R fabrics, she was my inspiration behind these. She collects the little strawberries and the little vintage pincushions, the tomatoes, and she had a picture. They were all like shoved into a little cloche, and I thought, oh, that's adorable. And that's kind of where the inspiration for this came. So see, they're all in a cloche like that. She was very flattered that she was my inspiration. So anyway, so that's another little name drop. I'm just name dropping left and right here. So that is Stitch Over 2. Again, shops went home with all these charts, so check the website. What else do we have? Okay, this is probably my biggest series this year. It's called Around the Holidays. Some of you have seen the video. Around the Holidays. There are 6 in all, and some are more holiday-ish than others. Somebody said to me, but beach isn't a holiday. And I'm like, but don't you think it should be? I do. So each one has a little saying. This one is, oh say, can you see? This is the only one that has kind of some wordplay to it. So don't think that they're all going to be that way. I just really like the saying, and I was actually going to do another patriotic saying. Look, I can't help but turn it as I'm holding it. We got a little submarine. We got some jellyfish, we got some little crabs. So the fun part about this is, while it wasn't a real collaboration, I worked with a lot of other women in this industry to bring this series to you. Let's start with the base. The base is called, the linen is called Colonial Parchment. It's by Fabrics by Stephanie. It's a wonderful color. Even if you don't use it on this series, it's an awesome linen. It's very, I don't know, it would be good for samplers. It would be good for, I don't know, it could be, it's a good basic. It's a good, nice, neutral, basic kind of, it looks like a colonial parchment. I mean, that's what it is. So, and you know, Stephanie dyes in a variety of counts. This is 32, excuse me. So I just love it. Then I worked with, Lois. Lois owns Elegant Stitch. It's a shop in California. She is also known, her alter ego is Lady Dot Creates. She dyes, oh my gosh, rickrack. Well, I love my rickrack. Rickrack, chenille, velveteen, all kinds of trims. Oh my gosh, she just dyes a ton of it in the greatest colors. So she dyed all this velveteen on the top and the bottom. You do get a 9x10 piece of velveteen, and I'll say a little bit more about that in a moment. Then, so now I've got Fabrics by Stephanie, Lady Dot Creates, and then of course, my friends at Just Another Button Company. Let's see, can I get that in a good spot? There we go. Are dying or are making the new product for them. It's called Pin Minis. So if you know my block party, it's all uses a set of pins that are 5 pins. This is a set of 3, and they're called Pin Mini. They come in a great little package. I'm going to show that to you later because that's kind of a surprise. The crab, see that blue crab? Cecile made him especially for the kickoff of my new collection of these mini drums. I'm calling it the short stack drum. The reason why it's the short stack drum is I happened to be working down at their office late last summer. We were working on a different project, and I was showing them my prototype, and we had kind of talked about the pins a little bit because I thought, you know, that's when they introduced the Pin Mini concept to me, and then I showed them the prototype of the shape that I didn't have the designs yet, and Rachel said, "Oh, it looks like a short stack of pancakes." I'm like, I like that. So then I got a little concerned that maybe not everybody would want to finish the drum. There is a tutorial on my website, PDF. You are welcome to print it out and use it. These are not hard to put together. But just in case, each one, the short stack, has a flapjack. We call this the little pillow, the flapjack pillow. It's just, I mean, it's not even like, maybe about 4 by 5. So bowl filler, I took the drum, actually on all of them, the drum got designed first. They're all the same size. all of the elements. I then created, I knew I wanted this size, so all the pillows are the same size as well. I basically just kind of reorganized them. Some of them had to be manipulated to fit, of course. Sometimes the fonts had to be made a little bit smaller, but almost like redesigned into, isn't that just sweet? Just, I mean, you know, there's my hand. That's, you know, it's like the size of your hand. Okay, I have big hands, but sorry. Anyway, and again, adorned with their little pin mini. I have, I'll talk about that in a second. I have the chenille, or the velveteen I used to finish it, and then I used the coordinating chenille. All of that information is on the chart because it does not include the chenille. You do get a 9x10 piece of velveteen with the chart, which is enough to finish the drum or the pillow, not both. It's, unless you do a much smaller count, and then you order the pins separately. But your shops are all, you know, a lot more shops now are carrying the velveteen and the trims. And then you'll notice I did the same thing on the back. I wanted to cover up my seam on the back, and so I created a little band-aid for each one, and I put one of their, you know, from my button collection, and then these little sprinkles came from my Button Lovers 2 collection. I do their club, their automatic club. So anyway, so seasonal, they'll come out about every other month. They're all done. I'm gonna give you a sneak peek. Actually, if you go to the Facebook page, you'll be of Just Another Button Company, and go to their videos, you'll be able to watch the Facebook Live that we did, and you'll see a couple sneak peeks ahead to the couple months, including my favorite one. They're all my favorite one, but this is really my favorite one. It's Halloween. Who wouldn't love that one? Anyway, so Oh Say Can You See, out now as both the short stack drum and the little flapjack pillow for a little bowl filler. So now every other month. So the next one is going to be the patriotic one. I may have the wrong pins in these. Sorry, just because I had to take all the pins out for traveling home, and then I was grabbing them before the video, and I was like, yikes, which one go with what? Because they literally were all in the bottom of the box. So the patriotic one, or I guess I should say the Liberty one, the saying is, where liberty dwells. I'm not going to hold this up very long. Where liberty dwells. I just love that. So the flag starts over here and just waves all across the top. A little fireworks going on at home on the old homestead. But anyway, so this is the next one. So that's your sneak peek of that. And of course, I did it in the little pillow too. I'm so tickled with how all of these came out. So that's the Around the Holiday series. And somebody's like, well, why did you name it that? Because it's around. And like I said, this is like your seaside holiday. It's not a particular holiday. It's more around the holiday. Get it? Anyway, so now I had one more chart that I did not show you. A lot of you might have been able to see those on my web, Instagram or Facebook pages. And I had one more that I did not show and I did not share with shop owners. We do a survey after the show, and the comments on the survey said, the shop owners said, we like having at least like one surprise or something that we haven't seen. And I get that. I mean, I used to go to the shows as a shop owner as well. So I did this one, and they didn't see it. And I took a chance, you know, maybe they would like it, maybe they wouldn't. And I will say they liked it. And you might have seen it on, because it did get out on some. But this is called the Proverbial Home. So you obviously know why I was drawn to this particular quote, passage from Proverbs. It's Proverbs 24 verses 3 and 4. And I designed this really, I don't even think this one will ever travel on trunk shows. It's a larger frame, so it's hard to send those. But I designed this to hang in my new home. It's very simple, subtle colors. It's all DMC. and it's on a 32 count antique white Belfast. The frame is a barnwood frame, yep, with its flaws and everything. The gal, I ordered it from Hobby Lobby. The gal was really nervous. She thought I'd be upset, and I'm like, no, that just adds to it to me. So I knew there was a look I was going for with this piece, and it turned out exactly like I'm so tickled the way it came out. So if you like this, make sure you ask your shop about it. It's called the Proverbial Home. So that is, let's see, have I gotten everything? I did take Fresh Eggs Farm. Okay. So if you want like what my takeaway from market was this year, let me tell you, a lot of the designers just outdid themselves. I did pop into Brenda's room with I Needle and Thread, and you know, her models are they're just so stunning, so sweet, and it was fun to catch up with her a little bit. And we kind of laughed because we had been, okay, I'll tell this story. I don't know if she'll like it if I'm sharing it or not. Well, it makes me look bad. So, but we were actually messaging back and forth about something. And sometimes when it comes to the phone, I'm like all thumbs, you know, your iPhone. And we were instant messaging about something. And I didn't get back to her. And I was running errands, and oh my gosh, what happened? I was in the car, and all of a sudden I can hear a voice. I'm like, she had messaged me, and I looked at the phone. Okay, all right, I'll message her when I get home. I put my phone down. The next thing I know, I can hear a voice. I'm like, okay, the radio wasn't on. What's going on? I'm like, and I kept hearing a voice. I'm like, what is going on? So I look over, and my phone's on this car seat next to me, and there's Brenda's face. She's like, hello? Hello? I had somehow accidentally dialed her, and I'm like, you know, I didn't even know I had your number. How did that happen? Anyway, so we had to get together and kind of have a good giggle about my my technological faux pas. But anyway, so again, fun to get together with some of these. Spent Friday night after the early bird sales, we went up to Vicki Jeanette's room. She's Needlework Press. And she's some lovely vintage samplers. She just does amazing pieces. She had the most adorable little stickers. She took photos of samplers and made them into stickers. And I said, oh, I'll come back Sunday and get some. I went back Sunday, and those things were sold out. So snooze, I lose. She also shares a room with Linda Vinson of Needle Made Designs, and she also just has some of the most stunning. Her finishing is just amazing. If you ever have the opportunity to take a class from her, I highly suggest it. Tanya from Scarlet House. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be doing this. I'm bad with names sometimes. Anyway, it was always a fun catching up with her. Those gals are all down in Arizona together. So, but she used to live up in this area, so she always laughs when I say how much snow we have and how cold it is, because you know I don't want to hear how warm it is in Arizona. But just a fun time. Saturday night I get together. We've got a group of us. We've been doing this for years. We have pizza. And we meet in somebody's room. Okay, first we go to happy hour, and then we order pizza, and we go to somebody's room, and let's see, and then Janice from Noteworthy Needle leads us. She's the one that makes that awesome beeswax bliss. And she leads us. She was a tour director in one of her former jobs, and she directs us to everybody's room, because otherwise sometimes we might not have an opportunity to see each other's rooms because we're busy working. So Tracy of Ink Circles, Beth from Summer House, Stephanie, Fabrics by Stephanie, Janice, Noteworthy Needle, Cheryl from The Tiny Modernist. Oh my gosh, she's just an adorable little thing. And she's from Canada, so I love listening to her. And they all call her Tiny, and I'm like, does that bother you? Because she really is very tiny. I would hate to think what they'd call me. But anyway, so let's see, who else? Bonnie from the Nebby Needle, and Liz from Stitchy Box, who was there in a buyer capacity this year, as was Susan from Redgate Stitchery for her Stitched Modern website. was there actually as buyers, and they used to be there as vendors. So fun to get together with everybody. Oh, Karen from Rosewood Manor was there with her helper Teresa, and my husband comes because it's a room full of women. I will say my husband's very brave. He hangs out for the pizza, and then he takes the group picture, and then of course, you know, talk gets around to all the things that, you know, a room full of women talk about, and he always goes, okay, well, it's been nice seeing you. He goes back to the room. It's really funny. Who else? Oh, I didn't get a chance. Oh, I hope somebody really likes these. Cecilia Turner from Heart and Hand. She did the most awesome, she worked with she said a local artist. We caught up elsewhere, but not in her room. She had these Heart and Hand needle art. Amazing white bowls that a local craftsman make, and then she designed something for the top of it, and then she was showing me what her finisher did, Joy, the finally finished, another great finisher, and she was showing me these bowls, and I guess they take like 2 weeks to make, because I was asking her, I'm like, how many bowls did you bring? And she's like, I don't even know. You know, we brought all we could because these bowls take so long. Just white ceramic. They just look really heavy, and they're just, ooh, they're just really pretty. So I really feel like a lot of designers they outdid themselves. I think you're probably going to start seeing a lot more designers doing FlossTube. Of course, I did bring the Fresh Eggs Farm to show, even though it was out in February, shops hadn't seen it yet. Oh, which reminds me, I'm kind of looking around my table here to make sure that I've showed you. I told you there was a lot to see. So at Market, I like to do a complimentary design, and this year I did Farm Fresh. Eventually, I will put it out on my website or you know, put it in the one Facebook group, that kind of thing. Right now, contact your shops because they're coming back with this. And the fun thing, okay, I told you about those pin minis. These are the little sets of pins. This one's called Farm Fresh from Just Another Button Company. It is great, cute little package. Am I holding that up right? And so you open the little package up. Okay, I won't be able to do it now that I'm on camera. Okay, easy peasy. And I used the Lady Dot chenille around it, and then just stick my little pins in the top. Are those not adorable? So your shop has this. This was a complimentary design, otherwise what people call freebies. And a lot of them purchased. They sold out at Market, but they have assured me they are making plenty more of the Farm Fresh to adorn it. And I just used a little of Lady Dot Creates chenille trim. It's a tin roof, Weeks Dye Works tin roof linen, and it's a chalk for the eggs, and then the other colors are Classic Colorworks, mostly because it's kind of what I had on hand, and I used 2 of the colors in the Fresh Eggs Farm model. So you should have these, but super easy to change them out to DMC if you want. But just a sweet little pillow. I kind of did that on the back. So contact your shop for these. I think that's a lot of fun. It's funny, I did talk to Priscilla about these when I showed the Fresh Eggs Farm model. I don't think there was I think maybe one shop in like 100 didn't know of the Real Housewives of Cross Stitch, which I thought was funny, which I think is why, you know, you're going to start seeing a lot more designers on FlossTube. It's funny because we also, you know, we did these not to go with, but just, you know, I thought it would be fun for something else. Just, you know, I'm going to put them in a little bowl of mine. And then I do work with the Zappy Dots folks, and they make the needle nannies out of my design. And I did let Priscilla know, I thought this would be kind of fun if we made the needle nannies for the farm series. Well, I said, I'll get us some. Well, a shop already... Some ambitious shop already got them to her, and then they sold out at Market. So I didn't even get my own, but they did the needle. It's got the magnet on the back, and then the barn, and then they said they'd send me the truck because they sold out. So it's kind of fun. They also did one based on my laundry series. If you don't want to stitch it, then you just collect a little needle nanny. Aren't they sweet? And it's got a really strong magnet, so they're the rare earth magnets. So that was kind of fun. So I will be emailing them the design later today, but it was funny because I guess some shops were overheard, oh, we should get some sets to send to Priscilla and Chelsea, so I'll let them send them. That's lots of fun. I think that's why, you know, you're really going to start seeing a lot more designers, you know, on FlossTube, and I think it's kind of fun. So that's like one of the biggest influences I see coming out of market. Plus that, and the fact that I just really think, oh, I have to show. Okay, so some of you might know about my flamingos, my naughty flamingos, that came with me a couple years ago to market, and then my friend that watches my house, she went and dug my flamingos out. And she's kept sending me pictures of my flamingos having a party and cooking in my kitchen. And so the flamingos have really gotten a thing. So there's a couple people on my Facebook page who are like, because I didn't take the flamingos this year to market. Sorry, I was a bad flamingo mom. And they said, I got an invitation to Iowa for a flamingo party. The flamingos have become a thing. Well, I also have a pelican. He came a couple years ago. And then this year, because we like to decorate the room up a little bit, we have a new feathered friend at our house. I did have quite a few people, oh my gosh, that's the perfect rooster. Where'd you get him? Hobby Lobby. Okay. He was a lot of fun. Did you have a good trip? I think he had a good trip. So anyway, like I said, I'm looking around going, okay, did I miss anything? Did I miss anything? I think I hit most of the highlights. That was a lot of fun. So what's coming out next? Oh my gosh, seriously, are you really talking about what's coming out next? Because shops are coming back with this. Obviously, I have a few things that are on series. We will be doing the next Chalk on the Farm soon. I'm so excited about that one. Shops were like, you know, because I put like lists of, so they can read if I'm busy with somebody else, and they can kind of get some of the information. And they were like, you're not telling us what the next Chalk on the Farm is. And I'm like, I don't know what the next Chalk on the Farm is. I know it'll have a barn, and I know it'll have a truck. Beyond that, I'll wait till I get the email from Priscilla. So I'm always excited when I get that. When she sends me an email with an attachment, that's when I'm like, ooh, very excited. I did want to share a couple things. I meant to get a quick little video out before market, but that just did not happen. So a lot of people share kind of, I don't have any whips to show you right now. I'm working on some class pieces. I will say, I just want to give a couple shout outs, because this farm stuff has kind of given birth to a whole new industry. This is a fun bag that made by Mama Joan, sent to me. And it's kind of fun. I've taught at a number of shops around the country. She was actually in a class of mine at Salty Yarns several years ago. And she's like, I don't think you remember me. I'm like, yeah, I remember you. Because she had like it was like a hands-on design trunk show. She had a whole bunch of my models done and sitting on the table. So that's like the ultimate compliment. Anyway, so she sent me this bag. It's got all the, I think some of you have seen it, because I think she sent some to Priscilla and Chelsea too. So thank you for sending that. I also posted a picture of, she does a FlossTube with her friend Kelly. And Kelly has some adorable like thread keeps with cows, and they were really cute. If you go to my my Instagram feed, I reposted one because I just thought he was adorable, this little black and white cow. It kind of cracks me up because like that all this farm stuff is so popular now, because I grew up in Pittsburgh. I grew up in like a suburb, so you know, big area, but actually our development was, I grew up across the way from a dairy farm. So I saw cows every day of my life. Not black and white cows. These were Guernsey cows. Oh man, I can't even remember. But anyway, I don't know if that is Turner's Dairy Farm, so I don't know if that even exists anymore. But we used to sneak up there sometimes as kids and watch the milking, and they had peacocks, and you know what those sound like. And then we used to try and catch the kittens that would wander around the until somebody that worked there like, oh kids, get out of here. But anyway, they didn't usually seem to mind us. So anyway, thank you for sending. I love it. I used it on the way to market, so you might have seen my Instagram post. I was stitching in the car. Fun bag. Oh, this is a quilt that my sister sent me. My oldest sister, Karen. We all quilt. At one point, I have two older sisters, and at one point we all made our own clothes. We've always sewn, and we all quilt. Our grandmother taught us how to sew, and it's funny because we each have kind of our little area of expertise. Karen, my oldest sister, she's they call it a fax teacher now, basically a home ec teacher, and she can do very technical sewing. I mean, she can make a tailored suit and dress and bathing suits, and she did all that. I was like, give me some straight lines and I'm good. I was always more for speed than accuracy. Probably not a good quality sometimes. But anyway, so we do all quilt. I haven't quilted in a while. One day I'll actually share with you some of my quilts. I've made several queen size quilts. I've made a lot of lap quilts, throw quilts, and my quilts get used. They get loved. And my sister, Bill and I had our 30th. Which I should tell you, the buttons and the fabric and everything for the 30th, we have like maybe 10 left. I bought like about 300 buttons, and I think I have maybe 10 left. So if you're looking to get something, get it in quick. The fabric is long gone. But anyway, I'm gonna hide behind this quilt quickly. Isn't that beautiful? I had no idea. And then she does something fun on her backs too. She always puts a little surprise on the back. And I had no idea she was doing this. It came in the mail a day or two after our anniversary, this big square box from my sister, and I was like, well, what's this? And this was in it. And anyway, so this went with me to market this year because it actually color-wise goes with the Fresh Eggs Farm, and this was laying on the table, kind of draped over, and it was just perfect. So my sister got to travel to market with me. So anyway, that was very, very special. Anyway, so a couple other things I wanted to share. I promise not to cry about those. I see a lot of you belong to different clubs and you get stash, and I don't really get to get stash like as much as some do, mostly because I am stitching models and working on my designs. But I do belong to a couple clubs, so I thought I would share them and give them a little shout out and go check them out. And the one I've been to the longest, and I see a lot of you out there, here, I'll grab this one. So Much to Love, Karen Torres, So Much to Love. It's SEWMUCH and the number 2 LUV. She has an Etsy shop. I worked with Karen, years ago. We did a chart together. She did the bag construction, and then I designed the piece here. So we did that. Gosh, that's I think it's like chart number 14 or 20. I don't know. So way back there. And a great friendship was, I guess, born out of that. It was really fun to work with her. And her taste in the fabrics she puts together is impeccable. This is one I got, this was maybe like a year ago in the club. I chose the every other month option. I'm not going to tell you how many of her bags I have. You don't need to know that. I'm sure there are a few people out there who have more than I do, but I have a lot. Because I just can't resist them. I do have, she does also what's called big bottom bags. That's a regular bag that holds a nice project. And then she has one where it's like that on the bottom. And that's a big bottom bag. This year, okay, because I felt the need to, I'm like, okay, really, how many bags do you need? That's like sacrilege. I did her just as something, change it up. She does these little teeny bags. There's a name for them and I can't remember. I'll remember it later. Anyway, so this was my first bag this year. So I did this, I thought I'd, you know, change it up. And my whole theory behind doing the bag of the month was that I would, you know, if I didn't need one, I'd give it as a gift. To date, I have given 2. They were to my sisters. It's like, that doesn't count. So in each one, she does a fun little, just stuff. And so this was a cool little charm she did. And then this was like a floss tag to coordinate with the bag. How cool. And then some hand-dyed, I'm not familiar, this is Jay's cross stitch, but not familiar with that, but isn't that beautiful? Hand-painted thread, sure looks hand-painted. So that's one of the clubs that I do. It's the Bag of the Month Club. And what else do I do? Oh, Color and Cotton is a dyer. She's a thread dyer. She does a thread club. And I started this like quite a few months ago, and I have like a whole collection of hers threads, but aren't those beautiful? She does them kind of in collections, which I think are really cool. Honestly, I use these a lot for like my personal stitching. Haven't quite got to the point where I don't know if she's, you know, gonna go do the whole wholesale route or whatever, but the club, she may not like me if I say it's only $10 a month. Holy cow. 5 skeins, 10 bucks, once a month, includes shipping. Bargain. You know, and I don't have like as much stash as other people do, so it's nice to have some pretty threads, something new to use in my personal stuff. Another one I do is, I will try to remember to put all kinds of links below. Comes in this is my second year. It comes in this sweet little box with the button tape, and it's the Button Lovers Club. I did the original Button Lovers Club, and then I did Button Lovers 2.0, and gosh, they're already working on Button Lovers Club 3.0, and let me tell you, it sounds really cool. Now I've deconstructed mine a little bit, but you open it up and it looks like that. I mean, their packaging is just adorable. And this time, their focus was on some of their new packaging, some handmade, and then their little buttons, some also coordinating, everything coordinates. And then their little sprinkle packs. The little sprinkle packs buttons. They're just adorable. And then I talked about that Tammy Tutterow, She was part of their Button Lovers Club this year, and I told you she's more in the graphic arts, paper products side of life, and her style, her aesthetic, it just speaks to me. I love it. So in each one, this one says sow seeds of kindness, and she will show you on her Instagram pictures and whatnot, kind of how she took this and embellished it with the buttons and just made a little thing out of it that, you know, make a really cute little decoration. And it's you know, crafty without being crafty. It's very pretty. I mean, just isn't that gorgeous? And she's got one a month in there, and I've got them all in a pile somewhere downstairs. I just know one of these days I'm gonna have time to do something with that. So I really enjoyed meeting her. She's just she's a kindred spirit. So I'm hoping that well, I'm not hoping, I know we will continue to communicate. So anyway, so I'm excited to hear what's going on with Button Lovers Club 3. Anyway, so those are a few of just the things that come to my house, the things that make me happy, just because I need to get some fun mail each month. And I don't know what else to tell you now at this point. I do notice I still have my Valentines out, and there's snowmen around here somewhere too. Those are going away this afternoon or this evening. The snowmen need to go away. And I'm gonna bring out I dragged out a few of my little, I don't have a ton, but aren't those, they still make me giggle. They're like burlap. I got them a couple years ago at Pier 1 Imports. So not doing a whole lot of decorating, just because I am trying to get ready to sort of start packing things up for the big move. We're getting ever closer. We still don't know yet. But you know, hopefully within the next month I'll be coming at you from a new location. So if you don't hear from me for a while, that's probably it. But anyway, so I think, how long? 59 minutes. That's probably my longest video and the most information I've crammed into one of those. So hopefully you're still hanging in with me. Your tea is either drunk or cold by now. If you have any questions about anything that I've talked about here, just leave a comment and I'll get back with you. A lot of shops are having their aftermarket sales now. Some do open houses, they're getting shipments out. So these shops are working really hard. So if you ordered something and you're awaiting shipping, you know, be a little patient. They've got a lot to work with, or go and support the shops in their aftermarket sales. And there was just some wonderful designs out this year, and I think the trend will continue. It's very exciting right now in the needlework industry, and quite frankly, I'm so happy to see it. It makes me happy because it just does, because this is the industry that I love, and obviously I want to be here to join you. But I've got to get going. I've got to do some stuff. I have I can cross this off my list now. There's always that post-market to do. It's a long list, but fortunately I get to cross this one off. So thank you for taking some time and hanging out with me today. This has been a lot of fun, and I really appreciate all the followers and the comments and the likes, and we'll be talking again real soon. In the meantime, enjoy the stitch.